the Lakers really went under the radar, and I really don't understand some noise that's um saying the Lakers did not get better or they kind of have flopped in this free agency period because I don't know. I guess some people have expected that they were going to make a big change or they're going to make a big trade to get another star. And I don't know when we're going to learn that is just not number one. The CBA these days are not going to be friendly to teams that push that way. And we've already seen that having three stars was not necessarily the thing that they needed. They needed pieces that fit. And I think the beautiful thing about what they did here is it was all just smart moves. The fact that they were able to keep Reeves and Rui at the prices that they did, fantastic. I mean, those guys got bargain deals to stay with the team. Russell also was a bargain deal. I mean, Gabe Vincent also solid deal, not a huge contract. Um, and Torian Prince also getting like that. These are all just under the radar moves that Torian Prince upgrade over Malik Beasley, better defender, more consistent shooter, and just having a guy like Vincent. I mean, just way better fit compared to Schroeder. I mean, Schroeder is good for a number of reasons, and I think he's not given enough credit for what he's done for the Lakers. But Vincent, I mean, to get a guy that is going to be an aggressive shooter for all the reasons we talked about Strus, but also be solid defender too. Like give Gabe Vincent is a playoff level defender. He's not a guy that's going to back down, and he brings that same mentality that the Lakers are looking for. So to nab him, I mean, they did enough with what they had to retain the surge that they had last season. I think that's what people are forgetting. Lakers went from a team that had the most rotational leagues, they couldn't figure out what they want to do, and they couldn't keep everyone healthy, to then having a team that was honestly like a top 5 team in the West, and a team that was, that fell just short of the Nuggets. I mean, I know that's crazy, even though they got swept, but they were there. They were there. Game one, they could have won that. Game two, they could have won that. Game three is up, and it was not. It was closer than it looked, and I think they're going to be right there because of what they did in this moratorium.
Yeah, I mean, and a big thing as well is like they have a roster that on paper they have a roster that makes sense, probably for the first time since they won the title there back in 1920 when they acquired Anthony Davis and a few other veteran guys. I think
1920, all the way back, the 20th century. The Lakers even around then? I don't know.
yeah, it was probably Minneapolis back then, but sure. You know what I meant there. Come on, man. But it's yeah, smart moves were made and they did a lot with what the limited resources that they had. They did a lot. They got good backups. You're going to see. I'd say we'll probably see a nice little mix of both Russell and Gabe Vincent, kind of mix and matching who starts, who gets more minutes, whatever the flow of the game is. And you kind of look at then, you're kind of thinking, it switches then to what sort of drop off are we going to see from LeBron? And like, if you're looking at this roster and LeBron and Davis are both able to play 60 games at least next year, then you're looking at a team that could easily be winning 50 games. No problem whatsoever. They should be right up there. I know a lot of good teams are in the Western Conference, but they should definitely be a top 4 team in the West with this roster and enough games played from both AD and LeBron.
Yeah, and two things. One, how much do you think a max contract would be in 1920? Like $1,000? Austin Reeves would be the Michael Jordan of NBA in the 1920s for sure. Like he would be. You imagine LeBron James in 1920. They'd be sending him they'd be sending him to Area 21. I think he's an alien. And two, I think the guys that they have in this team, LeBron and AD, are going to be able to get some rest. Not a great thing to hear for ticket holders, season ticket holders, but or anyone trying to see a game for that matter. But it's another year under the belt, and AD had not the healthiest season of all time, but at the end, he held it together for sure. But you're going to want to keep them healthy. And you've got guys who are hungry for more. I mean, Rui is hungry for more. I mean, he was able to show it on a big stage that he can be very streaky player. But if he can put it together, you get more consistency. I mean, that's a guy that's willing to grow. You got guys that are willing to grow, and that's something on this team that you can let go of the leash a little bit, see how they do. Um, how much better can Reeves get? And I love these two guys that they got. Um, when you look at Cam Reddish, it's like I think most people are out on Cam Reddish. They don't think there's anything left there. But if you say, hey, you're about to play with LeBron James, you're about to play for the Lakers, like play your heart out. Just play defense. Like you're gonna be on this team to compete for a championship. And if defensive consistency is coming from Cam Reddish, that is a guy who has the physical tools to be a elite, top notch, top echelon defender. It's there. I mean, it's there in flashes, and it's just not. It's never put it together fully, and I don't think he's been fully bought into. Um, and then Jackson Hayes too. I mean, Jackson Hayes, a guy who has true NBA athleticism at the five position with skill, but with very little opportunity. And I think that it just did not work out for him for the Pelicans. And you know, whenever you play with LeBron James, you play with the Lakers, you play in that organization. I mean, they give guys chances, and to get a chance with this organization, maybe it pans out, maybe it doesn't. But you have a whole year to figure that out, and I think that's a very different position from when they were in last year. Last year was like, all right, we're just going to throw these guys. Let's see what happens, and we'll figure it out from there. I mean, as evidenced by their 500 different lineups. It's not a real knife. I think it was over. Was it 100? Can't be. I mean, with math, I'm sure that you can come up with 100 different rotations given the amount of people out there, and Max Christie still exists apparently. But all in all, Lakers, I think they got to be commended for the level-headed moves they made, and by the low risk, high reward moves they made. And you don't need a splashy signing. They proved that with what they have, the end of last season, that they can still do a lot.